Hi, my name is Dawn Simone, and we are going to dissect a sheep's brain. We're going to just take a look at the outside of it before I start. This outer skin covering is the meninges, and we're going to cut that off in just a second. Before I do that, I want to show you that these are the olfactory bulbs here, right here. This here is the optic, where the optic nerve comes into the brain. And the pituitary gland should be under here, but we should be able to see that better once we get that meninges off. This here is the brain stem. Through the middle of it is the longitudinal fissure, and we're going to go ahead and take that meninges covering. It's kind of like a skin. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off so we can see what's inside here. Sheep's brain is much smaller than a human brain, but it has a lot of the same things, so it should give us a good picture. That skin's pretty tough. I'll try to do this without damaging the inside so we can see it for what it really is. Okay. In here we've got these little crevices in here are the sulci. Kind of look like a bunch of worms all rolled up. And the fleshy colored things are the gyri. I don't know if I'm saying that with the proper pronunciation. Okay. I guess it's a good start. Damaging a little bit of it. You can see the separation here. Okay, this side here is the right hemisphere, and this is the left hemisphere. You've got your longitudinal fissure. A fissure is kind of a break in the middle there. The frontal lobe is here. That's this part right here, frontal lobe. We've got the parietal lobe here, and the occipital lobe in the back. Let's see if I can get some more of this meninge off so we can see the cerebellum. There's definitely some tough connective tissue there. Not wanting to come off so easily. This here is where the spinal cord connects. I guess it's a little bit better overview of the inside. Okay, so back here we've got the cerebellum. That's the cerebellar hemisphere. This is the medulla oblongata down here. Let's see if I can even peel away a little more on this side. And then here we should have pituitary glands, and I would like to get a a view of that if we can without damaging it. Pretty tough. Okay, this part back here, I think I mentioned was the brainstem. That has the pons under here, the medulla oblongata, and then your brain or spinal cord. That's all part of the brainstem. There's also midbrain in here. You've got your temporal lobes on the side, and let's see if we can't get to that thalamus and hypothalamus. A lot to do with our emotions. We learned a lot about that in psychology class. Kind of tucked under there near our pituitary. And it is definitely well protected. This is some tough connective tissue. See, it's even a darker color. And much more fibrous. It's important to wear your protective gear when you're doing these things because you never know what could splash. And you can see the tissue right there is very, very connected. See that right there? We're going to just snip those tissues and see what we can see underneath. That right there is part of our optic nerve. Let's see if I can peel it away. And it looks to me like inside this portion here is probably the pituitary gland, kind of underneath where the thalamus and the hypothalamus would be. You've got your cerebellum there. Transverse fissure is in here. That's your transverse fissure. And your pons. Your olfactory bulbs are up front. That's your optic nerve. Up in here should be your thalamus and your hypothalamus. And if we didn't really have a scalpel, to be able to see, but I'm going to snip away at that and see if we can't see the inside. This is pretty interesting stuff. You can see where the nerve goes right up into that brain. That's your optic nerve right there. So underneath here, under the optic nerve is where, actually it's above it, but from where we're looking it's under. Thalamus is in there. And the hypothalamus is right underneath. Hypothalamus and thalamus. The thalamus and the hypothalamus form the diencephalon. And let's see if there's anything else. The pituitary gland is still in here. We'll go ahead and snip that away and see if we can't get a good look at it. It's a very important gland. And it's very small to have such a great importance. But you can see it's made up of just a little bit denser tissue, but very similar to the brain. Okay, we talked about our lobes, cerebellum. I think we've covered most of them. The gyruses, and sulces. We've got a couple different names for these in here. The precentral gyrus, the central sulcus, post-central solstice back here. We've got lateral fissures, and since this has been so well preserved, I'm thinking that this is where the lateral fissure is. You can see it kind of separates some parts of the brain. There's one like right here. Gives you the sections, just like the fissures do. And that is our sheep's brain. Definitely gives me a different perspective on what our brain looks like. I hope you enjoyed it.